Joel Embiid, roughly about a week ago, here in the 2024 season, scored 70 points in only 37 minutes played versus the San Antonio Spurs and versus young phenom Victor Wembanyama. It was very, very impressive. One of the more impressive games I've ever seen, not just in terms of basketball, but sports history. This is one of the greatest games that an NBA player has ever had. And this is the highest scoring game that has ever occurred in the history of the Philadelphia 76ers. And for some context, the Philadelphia 76ers have seen the likes of Dr. J walk through their building, Allen Iverson walk through their building, Wilt Chamberlain walk through their building. And who scored the most points in a single game in Sixers history? It is Joel Embiid. And I think it's very clear that Joel Embiid is going to win back-to-back MVPs. A lot of people argued about his MVP last season, saying, oh, Nikola Jokic should have won the MVP award. And I understand that Jokic nearly averaged a triple-double, and he was excellent last season. But I legitimately thought Joel Embiid on both ends of the court proved himself last year, and I felt Embiid was a worthy MVP candidate. I understand he flamed out in the playoffs, but the MVP award is about what you're doing in the regular season. And I always say, it's not necessarily who's the most valuable player. It's about the most valuable performance within a given season, because the MVP award is rehashed every single season. No one's going to argue that Russell Westbrook is a better player than LeBron James, but in that given season when Russell Westbrook was averaging a triple-double, he outperformed LeBron James. He outperformed Stephen Curry. He outperformed Kevin Durant. So I was okay with Russell Westbrook winning MVP. And, you know, you had a guy like Luka who maybe could win the MVP award this year. I thought Kevin Durant was starting to insert himself into that conversation, but I think it's pretty clear Joel Embiid is probably going to win that award this season for back-to-back years. I mean, the guy is averaging 36 points per game as we speak today on crazy efficiency. He's been one of the 10 best defensive players in the NBA, according to the advanced metrics, and the eye test has been there as well. And let me just say very quickly, I know Hakeem Olajuwon is in the conversation for most skilled big man of all time. Obviously, you have to throw in Nikola Jokic into that conversation. Shaq was very talented. You know, even a guy like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who to me is the greatest center of all time when you put together talent and resume. But it's not crazy to say that just from a skill set and a talent perspective, Joel Embiid is starting to force his way into that Hakeem Olajuwon, Nikola Jokic conversation at the very least. I mean, maybe don't compare him to Shaq or Kareem, but as far as talent and skill level, as far as dominance, when he wants to be dominant, Joel Embiid is as good as anyone, quite frankly. I mean, maybe not everyone, but he's really, really talented. But here's the thing. Joel Embiid's dominance is kind of a blessing in disguise, because now that Joel Embiid is more dominant than ever, the pressure is on Joel Embiid more than ever to win an NBA championship. Or heck, make at least one deep playoff run. Because here's the thing, people. Joel Embiid needs to at least have one deep playoff run before his career is over. We're in year number 8 for Joel Embiid. And so far, he is the only MVP winner in NBA history to have never made a conference finals, aka the Final Four. Never led his team to being one of the Final Four teams in the postseason. And it's kind of mind-boggling based on how talented Joel Embiid is. And I understand that in the past, he's had excuses of, oh, Ben Simmons is a shell of himself. He's potentially a bust. Oh, Brett Brown is a fraudulent postseason head coach. James Harden is very talented, but can often be a headache. Oh, you look right now, and all those excuses are out the window. Joel Embiid, your time is now, buddy. You're smack dead in the prime of your career. It is time for you to go against Giannis Antetokounmpo and refuse to lose. It is time for you to potentially see a Nikola Jokic in an NBA Finals and say, I refuse to lose. Joel Embiid, go on a deep playoff run. You're talented enough. You're good enough. And you have the supporting cast now. Nick Nurse, championship level head coach. Tyrese Maxey, one of the best young point guards in the NBA. A great second option up to this point. Tobias Harris, he's had his ups and downs, but he's a good number 3 option. And the Philadelphia 76ers have a lot of depth. Every time I look at their roster and I look at the games that are being played, they've got shooters galore. They got guys that can defend, guys that are scrappy and can rebound. They know their role. If Joel Embiid dominates in the playoffs, there's no reason to believe the 76ers can't make a deep postseason run and ultimately win a championship. One of the biggest reasons why Philadelphia has underachieved in the Joel Embiid era is because of Joel Embiid himself. Situations where he's getting outplayed by Trae Young in the playoffs. And I think Trae Young is excellent. So this is not a knock on Embiid, but Joel Embiid, you're 7 foot tall. You're this big, strong, dominant guy. You shouldn't be getting dominated by a Trae Young-led Hawks team. You look at Jason Tatum and the Celtics. Yes, they're very talented, but you had the Celtics on the ropes last year. I think you're better than Tatum. You're more talented. It's time for you to put up or shut up. So, yes, Joel Embiid being at his best, it's a great thing to see. And he is rapidly moving up these all-time rankings, even despite not having a championship on his resume. You don't have to have a championship to be an all-time great Hall of Fame level player. But looking back on history, as long as Joel Embiid continues to stay healthy, it will be very, very disappointing if Joel Embiid can never make potentially one deep postseason run before his NBA career is over. So my message to Joel Embiid is, you're probably going to win multiple MVPs in the regular season. You're a dominant force. You potentially can go down in the history books as good as Nikola Jokic if you accomplish what you need to accomplish. And you're more than capable. And Joel Embiid, the world is watching because you're talented enough and there are no more excuses. You've got a championship level head coach. You've got a great supporting cast. The time is now for you to potentially win an NBA championship. And I'm excited to see if you can do it. And I believe potentially if you're healthy, you have a good chance to do so, but we'll see. Well, folks, that's pretty much all I had today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Ghiman McKinney. Have a God bless day. Stay safe, everyone. And I'm Ghost.